Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. Today I am picking up my whitetail buck that I got last year. This past year we did tons of critter dropping, but I only got one whitetail buck and I got him with my crossbow. Let me show you my crossbow real quick. It's a 10-point Viper S400. When it comes to crossbows, the Viper S400 from 10.8, it is so nice. Super nice. When you're talking about crossbows, you say 10 point, everybody pretty much understands, man, that's one of the best ones you can even get. But this is my Viper S400. Super, super sweet crossbow. It's got the rig in it where you just, here's the handle. You put the handle right there. You crank it up, it draws it back. It's super silent. It's a super safe crossbow, which is a big deal. You don't want to be losing any fingers and whatnot. Very powerful crossbow. And very powerful means that it doesn't drop a whole lot. So this buck that we're picking up today, I got him at 55 yards. So this has a crossbow reticle on the optic. This one, I forget what it's called. It's branded 10 point, but anyways, how it works is you set it to the feet per second that your crossbow bolts are flinging. So I've got mine set on 400. That's how fast these bolts are flinging out of here, 400 feet per second. That's fast, buddy. But the reticle in here, I'll try to pop up a picture real quick. You sight in the top dot at 20 yards, then you have a 20-yard dot, a 30-yard dot inside the reticle here, then a 40 and a 50 and a 60 yard. Past 60 yards, that's a stretch. The crossbow would do it. We could hit targets at 100 yards with it. But when you're hunting, you want to make sure you're taking a good and ethical and very good shot. I saw this buck coming out. I'd seen him the previous 3 days before, but he was always skirting us. Like he'd go out, we're up in the woods, he'd go out in the field and kind of go around us. Whether or not he knew we were there, I have no idea. So then the fourth day, I said, man, I'm going to sit down there on the edge of the field, hoping that he comes down the same path. Well, he might have smelled me or something, because instead of coming up where he had been the previous 3 days, he came up even further in about the middle of the field. And I saw him. I had my cameras. I didn't film the entire thing. I kind of filmed the before and after, because I've been chasing this guy for a long time, had pictures of him on the trail cameras, and I want to make sure we got a good shot. So I was by myself, didn't have anybody helping me film or anything. I put the cameras down. I said, I've got to drop this deer. So I had previously kind of eyeballed a couple landmarks. So in my head where he was coming from right to left. I think I got a picture of him. He was coming from right to left. And I kind of eyeballed a couple trees. In my head, I guess, gave him the old, man. Dude stopped his walk, kind of looked towards me. I put him right on between the 50 and the 60 yard pin, squeezed it off, and boom. Let me show you a couple pictures of this deer we're fixing to pick up today. I know I took a bunch of pictures that day. But hey, we're fixing to go pick him up from Searcy's. He's over near he's kind of between he's near Cookville and Crossville and Baxter and all that. If you're in Middle Tennessee or over in East Tennessee, go check out Searcy's. He's a good dude. He's good people, and he does good work. We're fixing to see. But check it out. I'm going to go pick this up, and we'll show you real quick. All right, so I just met up with Searcy over at his place. He had a bunch of deer in there. He had probably 15 other deer he'd been working on and had done, and a whole bunch more to go. But hey, Mr. Searcy, I appreciate you big time. He does meat processing too during deer season. We had him do a couple of our deer. But let me show you this buck here. I'm super excited about it. Okay, we got to back up, get the deer in there. Man, that's a beautiful thing. If you're a deer chaser like me, then you know how exciting it is to pick up your mount. So look at this dude. He's got 1, 2, 3 on this side, and then 1, 2, 3 on that side. So 6-pointer. Some states, you can't even take bucks unless it has 8 points. And I know there's a lot of areas that it have to be an 8-pointer, which I think is a silly law. I mean, I've seen monster 6-pointers. Last place we used to live, we had a 6-pointer that was old and huge. I never got a chance to take them, but super, super, super excited about this deer. Let me tell you kind of what happened. So I saw this spot that had a bunch of deer on it just from driving down the highway. And I thought, man, that place has got a bunch of deer on it. And one day it went up for sale. I called the man. Like it said, for sale by owner with the guy's cell phone number. I told my wife, I said, it's a shot in the dark. But hey, even if there's a 1% chance, I want to call. So I called the guy and I said, hey, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I saw your land went up for sale. I film a show where we chase after deers and stuff. Would you care if we went up there and did some filming and tried to film catching some deers? And he said, a real nice guy. He said, man, I don't care what you do. You know, you seem like a cool guy. I said, yeah, we'll take good care of it. You know, pick up trash when we see it and whatnot. He said, have at it, man. More power to you. So, that is how we got this deer. That's the only time that I have ever got a deer in a situation like that, where I called and asked, and they said, sure. And then we're out here dropping bucks. So, some of y'all, depending where you live, might be saying, oh, that's a tiny deer. I would never get that guy. Let me tell you, the way I go after deers, if I see a deer, I drop a deer. Or at least try to drop it. So, I know a lot of y'all, oh, let him grow, let him grow. You know what? There's about a 99% chance that I'm never going to see this guy, or he's going to get hit by a car. And that's just how I roll. You know, everybody's got their own thing. Oh, this deer, I'm not the best at aging deer, but I'd probably say this deer is like 2 years old. I don't think it's big enough to be a 3-year-old. You never know. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small. Certain parts of the country might consider this a monster. Other parts of the country would consider this a tiny little baby. But hey, I'm here to tell you, this is a monster to me. I've got one other whitetail that I took that I'd consider a monster. It's a 13-pointer I got in public land on 2008, 14 years ago. But this guy, I'm super excited about it. We're going to find a spot for him up on the trophy wall. And I'm super stoked. But if you're into this kind of videos, go check out the playlist. We got this guy with the crossbow. We've got on film dropping stuff with 338 Lapua, 338 Win Mag, 30-06, 243, 6mm Creedmoor, 7.5 FK Burno, 223, 22-250. So we have quite the catalog of critter dropping footage. We're fixing to go hang him on the trophy wall. I'm super excited. Again, shout out to Mr. Searcy down there. He does incredible work. There's a big difference when people do taxidermy. Some of y'all probably seen some real bad taxidermy jobs. But hey, this is a beautiful deer. Dude looks like he's alive. I'm here to tell you. Hopefully it's showing up on camera. But hey, man, this is one good looking deer. And I couldn't be happier. He really made him come alive. But we're going to do our best to get some more. Take them down there. Hopefully, here this fall, we'll be hanging out again with Mr. Searcy down there. Drop him off some meats. And yeah, real quick story there, guys. Let me roll in here to end the video. The actual day when I got this buck, every deer, every animal tells a story. Everything on the wall tells a story, and I absolutely love telling the stories. So let me show y'all the footage here at the end of this video that we recorded getting this guy at the end of last year.
Hey everybody, I'm super stoked. I just got a buck down on the ground. It's a 6-pointer. We've been having this guy on the trail camera. I'll roll in some footage, but super excited. With my 10-point crossbow, 55-yard shot. I've been seeing this guy, and where I'm hunting is a super secret spot, bow only zone. I've seen this guy with my eyeballs the past 3 days in a row, and we couldn't get a shot on him. Kids said they didn't want to hunt today. I said, well, I'm getting out in the woods. 55 yards, so I set up tonight closer to the trail he was going on, but he still didn't go down that trail I've seen him on 3 days in a row. He was out further, so at 55 yards, I gave him the old meh. He stopped and looked at me, and I squeezed the trigger on the 10-point. I'll show you my crossbow here in a little bit. I just now tracked this guy. He went about 80 yards in a circle, but 55 yards was my guesstimate, but I gave him the old meh, looked up at me, and I aimed between the 50-yard dot and the 60-yard arrowhead. I'll pop up the reticle right here, what it looks like, but super stoked. I'll show you this buck here in a minute, but this is my first deer with my new 10-point crossbow. Super stoked. First buck I have ever taken with a crossbow, but hey, 55 yards, that thing's a laser. Just as soon as I squeezed the trigger, I heard that. I knew I hit him. I found the blood trail, and then followed him up here. I'll show you the shot here. Hit a little bit further back than I wanted to, but it did the job. Smoked this Middle Tennessee buck. We're allowed 2 bucks, so now I gotta save my second buck, maybe for a little bit bigger one. But I'm super excited. Like I said, had this one on camera. This is the first buck I've ever taken to have on camera and then get the deer. Everybody wants to see the rack, right? So we'll call this the private land 6-pointer, but long story short on this one, I found out who the landowner was, gave him a phone call, and he said, no, have at it. So this is one of the guys we've had on camera, and we've been after him. Really cool to see him and pattern him. Like I said, 3 days in a row I've seen this deer. Day number 4, he comes down the same path, and we put the slock on him at 55 yards with that crossbow. But like I said, those crossbows nowadays, they are like lasers. I'd practiced out to 60 yards, so I was 100% confident when I squeezed the trigger off. But man, beautiful deer. We're gonna take him to the processor either tonight or in the morning, but I couldn't be more excited. Let me flip this camera around and I'll show you this deer a little bit more. He was looking at me this way. There's the entrance, a little bit further back than where I would have wanted it to hit, so I did hit a little bit of the guts in there. And then a full pass through on the other side there. So, and like I said, he went about 80 yards, but super excited. 6-point on private. I'm tickled to death, and we got him on camera. So, super excited. While I'm taking care of this dude, let me show you in some of the trail camera footage I have of this buck. At least I think it's the same buck. We'll see here in a second. I've got to review it myself. Check out this camera footage from a trail camera. Here's another video of this deer. This is at 7 o'clock in the morning on a completely different day. So he was not going too far. He was showing up in the morning and in the evenings, but I saw him mostly in the evenings here. But love having the trail camera footage of him. Here's another video of him coming into the camera straight on. This video, this angle makes him look bigger when he's up looking at you like that, but beautiful deer. I love checking the trail cam videos, but that's that buck right there, walking right in front of the camera.
Pretty cool to see him on the cameras. That is 100% the same buck. You can tell from his antlers there, but this is one of the first times that we saw him. This was at 5 o'clock p.m., which is about the exact same time I was seeing him every day. That's definitely the same deer. Here's another video of that buck. This one was at 4 o'clock in the morning. So good to see him, but not as good to see him in the nighttime. But that's that same buck again at 4 o'clock in the morning on a different day. Here's some video of some of his ladies. I love watching the deer, even if it's does. This was that same day as that nighttime one, but pretty looking deer there. Alright, so we got him drug up a little bit here in the light here, but this is my 10-point Viper S400, and I'll show you the broadheads we're using. Those are the broadheads that did the trick there. Like I said, 55-yard shot, no problem. Heard the arrow hit him, and then he only went about 80 yards or so in a circle, but probably about 30 yards in a straight line. But cannot tell you how excited I am to have this Tennessee buck down. Super tickled.
Super excited. You guys that know me closely, I have not taken a buck bigger than a spike in over 10 years. So this deer absolutely was one of the ones we were after, and I'm super excited that it all came together. We've been working on this guy for quite some time. Man, I'm so excited. I'm literally speechless. I don't know what to say, but super excited. Crossbow got it done. 55-yard shot. That's further than most of my deer, but these 10-point crossbows, absolutely amazing, and they do the trick. They do the trick. What do you think about that deer?
It's cool.
That's a big one, huh? We've been seeing that guy in the woods and on the camera, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Here, can you hold his head up real big? Hold it up real heavy. Oh, man. That's a big one, isn't it? Shall we put him on the wall so we can see him all the time with our other deers? Now we need to go get some more big deer, don't we?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know where some bigger ones are.
Whitetails will we have on the wall?
We want as many whitetails on the wall as we can get, man. I want 300 of them.
If we, all the big animals go on the wall, the tiny boys will have to eat. I said the tiny boys, we have to eat them. The baby boys, we have to eat the meat, but the big boys we have to put on the wall.
Yeah. And this one, we got him with the crossbow. That crossbow worked good, didn't it? Pretty sweet. Appreciate y'all watching. Comment down below what you want to see next time. Appreciate y'all big time. We'll see you on the next one. Hooty-hoo!
Load it up and get it on as soon as you can. 30-06, 10 mil, 50 cal. It don't make a difference, man. We like to shoot and make a little boom boom. If you like flinging